Good morning. Welcome to FYI. It's Tuesday, you guys. It's
Yes,
Tuesday
it
already.
is.
Tuesday,
Yes, it
12th of
is.
April,
Yes, it is.
2022. I'm here, Director of Finance, alongside Sherrod Duncan this
Mm,
morning. We are so close to Easter.
we are
We are
already.
super
I mean,
close,
it's
close to
unexpected.
Easter.
I can't remember when school closes anymore. I can't,
You don't have to ask if you're not have. You don't have to do
get to
this thing
that
on a
age. Yeah,
daily,
yeah.
a daily
That
basis,
age
right?
group. I'm a little
Don't
confused.
worry. School closed last Friday.
Yeah, when is Easter? Monday? What's
Yeah,
happening?
guys,
I
when
just know
you
it's Easter season.
yeah, but when you're up and out and about every single day, it's a little difficult to keep track of a lot of those things. And when you work and when you're in the public service, you mark those
you
holidays
know,
off,
you know when holidays coming.
you mark them off all the time. So, guys, it is a beautiful Tuesday morning, I must say, and I'm so happy to be here with each and every one of
Yeah,
you. I
yeah,
see
yeah,
so
yeah.
many folks that have joined us already. We have the usual folks on YouTube, but you know what you have to do? You have to make sure you start the morning off right by
Correct, correct.
sharing the live
Yeah,
stream,
let's do things
smash,
right.
smashing the
Smash,
emoji.
smash, smash.
I'm gonna do it one more. I swear. I see a man who did it yesterday. So Amanza started off yesterday with the sheer
Yeah,
signal
yeah,
and the
yeah,
smashing
yeah, yeah,
signal and
yeah.
all of those lovely
Gotta
things.
get with it. Gotta get with
But
it.
guys, I see the comments are coming up there. I see so many of you, like I've said, online thus far. Audrey Ward, Joan. I see Diane Fordyce. I see is it Easton Duke?
Eastern Duke is
Oh my
there.
goodness.
Guys, you know you come on, you gotta share the live stream. Let's get moving. Pick up the pace. Pick up the pace. You gotta smash that emoji button. Pick up the pace. Y'all did so awesome last night. You did
Yes,
so awesome
they did.
last night.
I think there's a little bias.
I think so. Before
I
we came
think
off the
so.
mark, we had 500 shares last night. I think I saw this morning. We
I
were,
think they get worried. I think they get
huh?
a little worried because you tell them you're not gonna come off the mark unless, unless
No,
they
but it's
go.
just to show what we can do together.
Yes,
When we
yes,
put our
yes,
minds to it,
yes,
what we can do together. We just want a big audience on Facebook. We want a big audience that does something, right?
yes.
To go out there and do something. When you get information, must impact you in a certain way to go make a difference.
Yeah. And that's the little things that matter. Those
Yeah,
little things add up. A
yeah,
simple share can get information to persons that
yeah,
that can help them significantly. A lot of information that we've been
yeah.
putting
Because
out every single
often
day.
people tell us, we didn't know that was happening.
Yeah.
We know, and you said it best when we started the program that people are so busy. They don't
Yeah.
have time to go to all these sources of information. So we do that for you.
Every
We do that
day.
for you. We're hunting through regional newspapers, locally, internationally, to make sure the information that we have that's relevant for you, because we know how much information means to you guys. Information is power, really, truly.
Jason wants to know why is Shara's mic volume so
My
lower.
mic is on the table. Let me put it on.
Yeah, so Jason, I hope you're happy now.
Pace and power, Jason. Pace and power. I had my mic off.
So Marlon said, Marlon is there. Marlon said I already shared the live stream. Marlon ain't
Good,
playing.
good,
Marlon has
good.
done
And
her
we need
job.
more Marlons. We need more Marlons on this program. You just get to it. You know what you gotta do, and just get to it. That's why your parents used to wake you up. You know what you gotta do. I gotta tell you every morning. Just get to it. You know the routine.
It's a
You know the
Carol
chores.
says share is for people like me. That's for the person that shared to me. So Carol's here because somebody shared to
Oh,
her.
awesome,
You
Carol.
see?
Awesome. What's Carol's name? We give Carol a big shout out.
Oh my goodness,
It's gone like
it just
this.
went
And
by
we
just
get
a
it.
little
Yeah, yeah.
little bit. Carol Rollins,
Yep,
yes.
Carol. I'm so happy somebody shared it to you, because that's how news
That's
is
how
done.
that's the dissemination of
Every day people
information.
contact us and they
Mhm.
say, somebody told me about this program, and I'm so happy I can't do it out it now.
Yeah.
It's like I'm fixed.
But I'm thinking about it. This conversation. This is a little bit of a segue from everything. However, relevant to what we're discussing. When we were in school, I remember in secondary school we doing office as I did it. I old people office procedures. Now it's office administration. You learn about communication channels of communication. Right, and you learn about how to disseminate information. I talk about the written communication. 2022, disseminate information, click share.
Quick share.
You have an
Easy.
update
Easy.
to those
Easy peasy.
syllabus and so forth.
Easy peasy. We do the hard work for you guys. A woman told us yesterday, one of our favorites, Saturday, I think it was,
Mm.
called us and she said, I stop by papers. All I do is watch your program. She said,
Yeah.
because I get way more, I will spend way more on papers and I
Yes.
get way more off of your program than I get in the papers. Folks, if you start buying papers, stop paper money. Send us that little something now. It will take us a far way. Every cent counts, folks. It costs us something, to do this. And as Jurita came closer to being a part of the program, realizes how much more goes into the program than just putting a camera on and stepping in. But it costs.
But you
us something.
can't, you
Yep.
can't. It's crazy because I know I've seen programs that individuals, some I don't, without calling name, but persons just believe that they can just sit and just say whatever comes to their mind.
Yeah.
But you don't have, a lot of persons don't actually go through the work and the content, because I can tell you, like 4 a.m. in the morning, we're going through every single international news site. You can find all the regional news sites. You can find every single last one of the locals to make sure that you can pull out the what is actually relevant to Guyanese and what is going on here right now. So a whole lot of work has to be pushed into it.
Having all of the information, having most of the information allows you to make better decisions. It's not just for programs like these.
It's informed
but
decisions.
In general, as a modus operandi for one's life, the more information you have on a subject matter, the more informed you are, and you can make better decisions on that. Some people, go on the spur of them, I hear something and they react instantly without having all the facts,
without the context,
But we tend to bridge that gap for you, that divide, by doing half the work for you. All you gotta do is assimilate, make sense of it, and move forward.
I see Brenda is on. I think you need to release those comments a little bit right now.
Alex Boom is here. Fancy surname.
That was just about to say.
Alex Boom.
Could you say that one? Grant. Shad, I'm going to ask you for your help.
Grant. Utility says good morning, Guyana.
Yes.
Yep. Suzette Washington is here as well. I see Glenford Gordon is here too.
Correct.
Yep. All our favorite people. Warren Figueroa is here.
Warren is here.
Is in the house. Please and thank you. How is gas prices in Long Island? How's the weather there?
I see Martha Harris is also here with us this morning. Marlon Thomas.
Jolette Astan is here. Good to see you.
So Marlon Thomas says, I'm obsessed with the news of Sheridan Jarrett. She's obsessed with
you're a junkie, a news junkie, a politics junkie.
And that's my mother. My mother, I can't miss any news, because even for those, there are certain persons that I don't have the mental capacity to sit and watch them for an hour. My mother does it, and she's like, at 58 minutes in, this is what was said. So, listen, if you don't have this unit of support, when you to actually do all that you do on a daily basis, it's impossible for you to get it all in. So definitely make sure that you are part of that support system. As you come online, and we appreciate you so much, but you can do a little bit more by sharing and letting all folks get the opportunity.
And a little bit more by partnering too, because you know what? It costs us something. You'll be shocked to know what it takes to put all of this together. We want business out there, especially for them trenches, jagabats and trench crappers. We don't want them to know.
They come for those information.
They come for that. You will be shocked how much it costs us to do all of this. But we believe and we see the value in each and every one of you. And that's why we want to do it as professionally as possible. We could just come and any old background, any old content, we just talk craziness and get on silly, right? But we believe that we know that you are valuable to us, and as a diaspora, as folks where we are, closer to where we are as well, that you deserve nothing but the best. And that's why we want to build out this thing. We got responsibilities to meet in terms of the services we engage to make this all happen for you guys, and that costs us something. And that's why we invite you guys to partner with us. So
I just saw this name, this comments a good morning one and all, but the name Spice Man,
Spice Man, must be from Grenada, Spice Island, Grenada.
Spice. What does that mean?
Spice Man.
Spice Man, or
you got a sweetness? I don't
Spice
know.
Man.
He bring that thing.
Because spice, right?
Yeah.
The Spice
Man.
Spices
Man.
I am trying to figure. I'm trying to figure out.
Sweetness about him. Kind of, he makes a difference. Is that added thing? That's secret ingredient. That thing there.
You know, that's the beauty about social media. You know, persons
Yeah,
are so
yeah,
creative,
yeah.
even with the name that
Yes, spice.
they're
Yeah,
going
boom, Alex,
by.
boom, boom, loud, loud, out and in charge, loud, boom.
You know, it would be strange if that's the actual name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Mr. Boom, not Bond, it's Boom. Oh, that's the word, GDC. Unless I haven't seen it in a little while, I hope you're okay, you and the family.
I
Trust you
see
guys are great.
Brat with Stacy, so I'm gonna assume that one is Stacy Bratway.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
and I see yeah, like Colleen Skeet Price. Hey, good morning to you, Colleen.
Yep, yep, yep. I see Divine or Divine Smith.
Marlon said he's selling spice. You see
He's
that?
selling his spice. Oh, there's a lot of
Thank you,
people that make.
Marlon. That one
Boom,
makes sense. That one
boom,
makes sense.
right there, Alex. Boom. We got that now. He's seller of spices.
Oh
He's
my
a seller of
goodness.
spice. He's a spice seller.
You know, she said that, and I immediately. This is how your mind works. I immediately remember this little video that was going around with some guys calling the number that was stored as Weed Man,
Mhm.
and the guy was actually a guy that cuts the grass.
Oh,
The weed man. So
the cut
they
your grass.
they call
Landscaping
they call the guy
technician.
asking him for some molly or something.
I see. I
It was
see.
a prank,
Oh,
but
I see.
they
I
were
see.
pranking the weed man. But
Okay,
I
I
just
see.
remember that when you talk about the
Mhm.
spice, my
Spice
mind
man.
all over the
Spice.
place this morning. But so much happening this morning, you
Lot
know,
of stuff
a lot of
happening.
stuff
Lot of
is
stuff
going
happening.
on, right? I
From
said, Brooke,
internationally, regionally, locally, lots of stuff happening.
okay, so he answered. He said that's because I'm from the Isle of Spice,
Grenada,
Grenada.
I thought as
You
much.
see,
I thought
Sharon
as
was
much.
on
No,
this, you
but the
know.
other one made sense too. It could be a seller of spice. Like I always say, bread man.
Specialize in
you
the
know,
spices.
crab man. It's crab. He sell it. Fish man.
Fish,
Fish.
spice man.
Spicy man.
Spice.
From that, how's Grenada? I've never been to Grenada, believe it or not. Never been to Grenada, but I
Mm.
was a lovely island. Heard it's beautiful. Never been there though.
Yeah, we should take a trip
Yeah,
to
you
Grenada.
know what? We're
Don't
going to be
worry.
talking later on in the program
Mm.
about passports to have in 2022, and which basically talks about good places to visit. Passports
Yes.
people want to have because they're such good places to live. We're going to be talking about that later
Mm.
on. Some of the places are going to surprise you because it's not some of the places we have ever even thought of going. You obviously we want to the States. You want to Canada. Oh, that's so last year.
I think Guyanese in general, when they think about traveling overseas, is the UK, Canada, US,
Mhm.
right? Or
Yeah.
they're the they're the
Mhm.
islands also. But I believe that for me personally, I want to touch
Awesome.
base on every
Yeah,
continent all
I
over.
managed to the States is lovely. There are parts of the US that are really, really breathtaking.
Yes,
Whether
I
it's
agree. I
whether
agree.
city areas or it's quote unquote country areas.
Yeah.
Really, really breathtaking. I went a couple of years ago for a visa. I was going up for a couple of days. They were giving me an
Mm.
award in 2015
Mhm.
for community service and something as a group in the US.
Mm.
And I went and asked for a couple mornings and I got 10 years. Thank you. So I'm complaining. The US is fantastic to
Yeah.
visit, very progressive. That's what I love about the US. When you go there, you understand. This is why these people are a first world country.
Mm.
They are always on the go. They have a sense of time, a sense of productivity, a sense of working hard and living well. That's you get a sense of. But I got some other places on my
It's a
bucket
good
list
balance.
that I want to see.
It's a good
Some
balance
other
there.
places on my bucket list, and we're gonna be talking. See how Spice Man leaving into this whole discussion now about places you want to go and see and okay, so
All because Spiceman came on a comment. You see,
oh yes.
you never know how you can
so
change a discussion,
you
the
know,
course of the
So
discussion.
let me see why the island will go. Crab Island. We started talking about crab. Good to see you, Margaret Nelson. Margaret says Rita has to go to Beckway. I hear that in Montserrat. Is it Montserrat?
I am not sure.
Where they had a big volcano recently.
Or I don't think I
Is it
want to go
Montserrat?
there.
No, what's the island name? Tell me the island
We
name.
talk about natural disasters, guys.
I spoke with the opposition leader from that country on this very in the ring. Tell us what's the name of the island. The name of the island.
Montserrat.
Montserrat.
Yeah, that's what he said, right?
I said Montserrat.
I think that's
but
what he said.
I think it was somebody of it. Right?
Yes.
And he told us, he said Beckway is a paradise.
Mhm.
And when he was talking, we did some research on the place, saw some of the photographs.
Mhm.
Margaret, and really and truly, they got some fantastic places in this world. Antigua is another place I found fascinating. The first time I saw English Harbor in Antigua, I thought, my God, I can retire right here, right now. Looking at all those yachts there, looking down in that, what do you call that? In that bay, English Harbor. I said, my God, fantastic. See, my aunt was just there down there at Antigua. Some fun, in this world. But one of the things I think we have to do as Guyanese, travel more. We work in this country hard, and then
I think we have a little bit of correction. See,
Where?
Margaret and some other folks saying St. Vincent and the Grenadines share. That's
St.
what.
Vincent and the Grenadines. SVG. St. Vincent is not Ralph?
Yes.
Ralph Gonzalez. Yeah. See, I knew it sounded a little odd in my head. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah. And remind me, what is the name of the opposition leader too? He was very, very gracious.
I remember that.
Knowledgeable. Beautiful soul. Beautiful. Ralph, another story. I drink Valentino. Ralph, another story.
Ralph has been talking about passing the baton on.
Ralph, another story.
So
that's good talk.
Yeah. Ralph has been talking about passing it on. So
again, guys, as we're on the discussion, let us know some of your favorite places that you would recommend to visit as we're on the discussion. Beckley, definitely.
But the thing, Sheridan, when you mentioned Ralph Johnson, it just goes to show as political leaders, you don't just think you have to be very strategic in how you do politics, how you insert yourself into certain discussions and all of those things, because Guyanese and Ralph, Ralph probably saying, I should have never go on.
Ralph on a tone sins. On a tone.
Oh my goodness.
Right, I have no doubt he can make it right.
Well, he started. He says he's going to be passing. He's looking to pass the baton on.
Yeah, that's the most importantly.
Most important.
But again, then I see Antigua. Shirley Crichton, I agree with you. Shirley's Heights in Antigua is another fantastic place to visit. My first time I went to Shirley's Heights in Antigua, and I see the sheer height of the place, right? And there's a little bar there at the edge of the cliff.
Oh,
and these Caucasian folks
not
were
me, I'm
drinking and dancing. If you misstep, you're over the cliff about 800 feet. It's pretty high.
Negative.
It's pretty high up.
Negative. I'm not doing that.
Just going folks, do you want to take a shot? Y'all ain't kill me. I watching keenly, and it's nighttime. It's pitch dark, but it's lovely. It's breezy.
So it's at night.
Nice
people
bar,
drinking at the end of a cliff.
Edge of a cliff.
Okay. All right.
They say, it's at the end of life. All life questions are answered in the face of death. So those folks were having a good time. I say, and then there's Devil's Bridge there, too close by. So folks are saying
to those,
St. Martin's done.
I'm listening to Sharon with this, and I'm thinking to myself that I'm pretty comfortable with looking at certain things on social media. pretty comfortable with the videos. I would do a lot. I would do I can tell you, I would do a lot, but there's certain. I don't think you should just go challenging your face.
One of the beauties about Antigua too, they have a beach for every day of the year.
Oh,
can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong. Since you turn, you're on the beach. Lovely place again. But I saw somebody recommending there St. Martin's. Haven't gone to St. Martin's yet. Natalia Odwin says Caucasians build differently. No comments there. No comments. Good morning to the ambassador of the US to Guyana, Sarah Lynch. Caucasians build differently. I tend to agree with you there. I tend to agree. Loretta Argyle, good to see you. Cecile says she's watching us and listening from Festival City. Excellent. Festival City, right in our backyard. Tobago is really beautiful. Never been to Tobago. Been in lots of parts of Trinidad.
It's right here.
Right here. But Trinidad is fascinating in itself. But I gotta pick you up on that. Tobago, I hear it's
I have some really good friends actually in Trinidad. I have some really good friends in Trinidad and some in Tobago as well. I have some really nice people that I've met over there, I must say. So they painted a nice picture for me of the island altogether.
I'm happy for that. You know what? As we're on that, let's make a mix-up cook-up this morning.
A mix-up cook-up.
Let's make
a cook-up is already mix-up.
But this one even more mix-up. This cook-up even more mix-up.
Hey, Clint, I see you watching from Tushan. Good to have you on board this morning. FYI, Manhattan. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Is it
and
Matthews from Manhattan, watching from Manhattan? Yes.
let's take a look
Let's cook. Let's mix it up. What's
yeah.
going on?
So again, we mixing up the cook up. And the guys were talking, and we're picking this up out of Loop Caribbean about the best passport to have, as we
Yes.
already here in the
Yes.
discussion.
Makes
Right? As
sense.
well. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Let me start here. Did I see? I'm missing some comments there. Yeah, the guys are talking about some of the best places to visit, and this is one of the. Oh my God! See, we're jumping ahead. Yeah, some of the best places to visit, not the CCG, but and we're picking this up out of Loop Caribbean, and then they're picking this up out of Nomad Capitalist, the top passports for global entrepreneurs
Got you.
in 2022. And folks, again, one of the things that we got to change is that we just work in this country of ours, and then we die.
Well,
We gotta change that, right? We gotta be more than that.
when
More than work and just die.
But the thing is about it, Sharon, is like the majority of persons can only afford to work every day. A lot of persons, a significant number of persons are living day to day, and they are living paycheck to paycheck, you know,
Yeah,
and that's a sad
I want to
situation.
add to that, it doesn't mean only traveling overseas. They've got cost-effective places right here you can visit. You know, you might even have to go to overnight or
But I
so.
want to remind you of this article that we
Remind me.
covered that actually said it's cheaper to go to the Caribbean islands than to go to the Rupununi right here. Yeah.
Yep, and you know, we
So
gotta change
that's
that.
debatable. That's debatable. Probably if
Yeah.
you're going up, I would say I would give it that. If you're going probably up the Linden Highway, have a couple spots that you can stop by, but you cannot exhaust that in a very short time. And then anywhere else you have to go, the cost just keeps going up. It's amplified significantly to travel within Guyana. It's not easy. I mean, I've had the opportunity to travel in every region in this country altogether, but
Mhm.
a lot of persons have never been beyond the region that they live in, and that's
Yeah.
a very sad situation altogether.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to be promoting more local tourism so that persons can actually go and visit areas right here within Guyana that they've never seen before. And we
Yeah.
often say the Rupununi is one of those places.
So I want you to tell us some of these places that they're telling us are the passports to have in 2022 for entrepreneurs. Again, what will strike you is that is not some of the places you would think right off the bat, but they've done their homework, and this is what Nomad Capitalists is saying are some of the hot passports to have in 2022. Believe it or not.
Well, actually, I'm gonna head this over to Sherrod because this is more of his area. But I see some of the places we have: Sweden, Ireland, Belgium, Switzerland,
Yeah.
Finland. I think Finland was actually the happiest, actually ranked the happiest place in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously, if that's the happiest place, I want to go there. I think we made this decision a while ago.
And
that we should want to go there,
Lots
right?
of European countries here.
Portugal, Czech Republic,
Mhm.
Netherlands, Singapore.
Netherlands, I hear, is beautiful. Singapore too.
Yeah, this place, a lot of, like Sharon rightly said, a lot of persons would not even think about these
The top two
altogether.
for Guyanese. USA, Canada, top two in terms of going north.
But I'm looking at number one, and I'm thinking to myself, like I've never thought of this.
Number one,
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Seriously?
Isn't this Germany? Luxembourg?
Yeah, it's
Guys,
like
let us
what?
know. I want
Where
to go
where
looking
is
for-
where
look-
is
looking,
Luxembourg?
different. Yeah. Luxembourg is not it. Is not it. It's Europe, I know, but that's a city.
Oh
Luxembourg
my
is not a country.
goodness!
It's a city.
But it's interesting to
Huh?
look at. Oh my goodness! It's interesting to look at all of
Austria.
these.
They're going to tell us. They say Luxembourg is number one.
It is number
Luxembourg is
one,
rated
and
I got to take a different look at Luxembourg to figure out what is happening in Luxembourg, and look at the criteria. Look at what they're rating. I think it's just after the first paragraph, somewhere there about that they're rating them by.
I'm looking at as I'm going through this right about now. It's Sharon, I actually want to go through some more. I want to before we go into what they're rating them on, I want to go through the top Caribbean passports and how, and it's ranked right now. It says St. Kitts and Nevis,
Yeah.
Brazil is there. They have the Bahamas, Barbados, Antigua, and Barbuda, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm looking for Guyana, Sharon. I see
Me there, me there.
Grenada. I
You
see
should look,
St.
look,
Vincent and the
look back.
Grenadines.
Look again.
I see St. Lucia. I see Dominica. I see Belize. Come on, Sharon.
Look
I'm at
again,
the end of
Peter.
this
Look again.
article.
Look again. Sure.
I'm,
Someone talking.
I'm,
Guyana over there?
I'm at the end of this
Hmm?
article. I haven't seen
I think I
Guyana.
said put me in the world map, but you take me out. Wasn't it at 2018 or 19 we were like the tourist destination,
I think
eco
so.
tourist destination? We
Like
won a
what?
big prize and all that,
Yes.
right? 2018, 2019. Yeah, last we
I
have
don't.
already.
I don't like. I don't like this report.
Yeah, yeah. So the number one
So-
internationally is Luxembourg,
Uh-huh.
and regionally
Mhm.
Caribbean is
St. Kitts and Nevis. Yes.
I hear it's very nice. I hear it's very
Mm-mm.
nice.
Yes, and it's with San Marino and Brazil. So I just want to say that
Mhm.
that's ranked. They're all ranked at number
Yeah,
4,
interesting.
6.
I got to ask my little son because my little son, he for me
Mhm.
right now is in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Mm.
Having a
Okay.
fantastic
Okay.
time
Okay. Okay.
without me.
My goodness.
Yep. So St. Kitts and Nevis and then Luxembourg. But definitely, I'm going to take another look at Luxembourg and see, what's in. I see RG Wire says the British Virgin Islands is another nice place. So, folks, the guys are telling us that Luxembourg internationally is the passport to have. And could you tell us what's the criteria they were looking at there?
Well, actually, what they're looking at is increased attractiveness.
Mhm.
They're looking at investment options being
Investment
promoted
options.
as donations, price reductions, and
Are we
discounts. Now I understand why we're not with
price discounts.
Now I understand. And travel restrictions. They're looking at how whatever policies they have there on travel restrictions. Also, percentage discount for bond investments.
Of course, it's for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
But it will make me take a second look too.
Yes.
From a tourist standpoint, what's about Luxembourg is so fantastic,
Yeah, most definitely
And as
we
an
have to go
entrepreneur
into.
as well.
Well, they're looking. I think this specifically. They're looking to send persons, to business people, into locations that they should be interested in, that they should push their interest. And
some of that too, like it says, like ease of doing business too. I think some of that.
I want to say also that when it comes to persons that's doing business, I see a lot of young business, a young budding entrepreneurs in this country, if I can put it like that. And they need to keep abreast with these information as well, especially what goes on in the world news when it comes to headlines that they read and news that comes out of Bloomberg, for example. That is a good site for those persons to go to, because all these informations are featured there as well.
The bigger issue there, for locals, especially where we are, is that Georgetown is not Guyana. Georgetown is a small part, and probably the worst part, of Guyana. It's not Guyana, and then Guyana is not the world. There's a whole big world spinning out there, and I endorse what you just said. Get to know if you're an entrepreneur about some of these issues. What's happening in the rest of the world where entrepreneurs are concerned. So it's a whole big world spinning out there. We've turned our program kind of inside out just because what's his name, Spice Man, talked about Grenada.
But I want to know it's about our number one in the Caribbean. Our number one in the Caribbean, St. Kitts and Nevis. They said was very much in high demand with clients for the entire of 2020 to 2021 due to its relaxed restrictions, discount for families, and for being very crypto friendly.
Wow.
Yes, this is interesting.
And
this is interesting.
If you follow through, I think, if memory serves me correctly, St. Kitts and Nevis had one of the lowest incidents of COVID-19. One of the lowest incidents in the region of COVID-19. When we were well into all them surges, they had like 1 and 2 COVID cases. And that was like a shock to them.
But it's interesting. I find it interesting, guys, that they actually mentioned that discount for families and for being very crypto friendly. And for a person that follows on the international news when it comes to business around the world, you would know that cryptocurrency is a big deal right now. And I can say, like I usually say, I dare say that Guyana needs to be looking at our laws and regulations as it covers those areas very much.
Nearly fast enough at all.
No, we need to go there
Yeah.
as fast as we
So
can in order to become for ease of business of people. You talk about having persons come back home and doing business and so forth. You have to create that environment so that they will be able to do business as they're used to. And right now, cryptocurrency is big on the
yeah,
world stage.
I just want to show you guys the impact of our viewers and listeners in our program, because we started talking with Spice Man. Who's this Spice Man? He said he's from Grenada. We started talking about these fancy places
Mhm.
and other places. Then we're here now talking, skip our introduction to our program.
My goodness.
So now that we're done with that, Spice Man, if we could get back to our regular program,
If
you
we
don't mind.
can.
If you don't mind, Spice Man. So the morning papers. What we got in the morning papers?
Okay, I just did not want to go from the morning papers as well. Okay, let me just go forward. Let me go forward, guys. I have to go forward, but I just wanted to I just wanted to give some information on a country. I just want to note, and let me just note that all these countries in the past, where the Caribbean countries especially, when it comes to, I just want to highlight something that you usually say before we move forward, that Guyana, these countries that are being featured, that people are being encouraged to go there, invest there, spend time there, and all of that, they are significantly smaller than Guyana. They are significantly smaller and the resources that we have in this country,
physical size
so
and resources.
it just
much
goes
smaller.
to the fact that management overall
Doing
of the
more
country.
with less. Doing more with less.
Let's just go
Some
there.
of the issues in the morning papers, folks. Guyana has power to improve the 2016 ExxonMobil deal. No provisions is off limits. This is what's coming out of one of the morning papers. UNDP reports, as a matter of fact, that's what they're stating here.
Yes.
And we're picking this up out of Kaitour News. It says that Guyana has the power to improve the 2016 Exxon deal. No provision is off limits.
That's correct. And as we look, as we continue to look at the morning papers, we have a lead speeding motorist kills Tugville teen. That's a story that we'll bring a little bit more on later. We have one of the things that I see in every paper this morning is the CCJ president calls for the appointment of the chancellor, and the chief justice before the end of the year.
That's on the morning Jones. We can talk about that.
Most definitely things to talk about a little later. And I see also there, guys, Suku to reduce sugar production, and a focus will be on shrimp and hemp, says Jagdeo. That again is part of the discussion and the trend as we go along. But I should have not read that because I really want to go into that.
Yeah,
I'll come back to that, folks.
You're so tempted. EPA utilizing NSA satellite data to keep track of Exxon flaring.
Well, this is not new. Let me just say that this is not new. I know this.
The flaring or the satellite?
No, well.
Or EPA. It's not new. Which is not new. Both are true.
Utilization of satellite data is not new. It may be new to the EPA. I don't know that. Let me just say that I don't know if that's new to the EPA, but I know that the utilization of satellite data to actually monitor things like flaring is not something that is new, but it may definitely be new to the EPA.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Let me just clarify that. So we can head into the trend as we go along.
Can we?
Yes, let's go into the trend, and I want Sharon to go into the trend.
I think you know what's happening here.
Internationally,
talk to us.
It says there internationally that Sweden's ruling party launched a debate on NATO membership. Sweden's ruling party has currently launched a debate on the NATO membership. And basically, and what's interesting about this is the Social Democrat Party says it will review its long-standing policy of military non-alignment in light of the Ukraine war. So that's most interesting about that because and I think we've had a little bit of discussions as to what is going on between Russia and Ukraine. It is impossible for you to say that you are not a part of the discussion. It's impossible for you to stand back and say, let whatever happens. And here we see
to abstain you from voting.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Thank you for spelling it out. Because these things have implications for countries throughout the world. And as we're seeing here this morning, and I'm taking this off of a bit out of Al Jazeera this morning. It says Sweden's ruling party, the Social Democrat Party, says it will review its long-standing policy of military non-alignment in light of the war in Ukraine, because Sweden is seeing that, this may have implications for us going down the line. So we definitely need to review what is going on with their non-alignment, their of military non-alignment rather. So it just goes to reinforce the fact that we are all integrated as a world, and what affects one country inevitably it trickles down and affects the rest of us.
Indeed.
It's a ripple effect altogether.
Indeed.
Yes.
What else we got happening? Look what's happening in Antigua. Believe it or not, while we are relaxing COVID restrictions, Antigua Prime Minister, Antigua and Barbuda, we're talking about them, beautiful island. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister, he has come down with COVID-19. And they've been very, very strict in terms of adherence to guidelines and so forth. He's come under fire too in the past for, when there wasn't enough COVID vaccines and so on, a wealthy family was able to import some for their own personal use. And he got a shot from this family. Wow. And he was on the gun for that, but now he has COVID. So
you can't go taking vaccines from a wealthy family when you are supposed to be procuring and making sure that the people of your country comes first and they are safeguarded. That's just bad altogether.
How is that working out for us there? So we're watching that. Again, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Dustin Brown. Right, looks a little bit like an infamous word either, but nonetheless, don't want to sidetrack.
Don't sidetrack, Sharon.
He has COVID-19, and we want to wish him the best.
Well, most definitely.
Speed recovery to him and the other folks around the world who are still coming out with COVID-19. That's what we've said here. I can't tell you what it did for your life, but I'm still practicing all the COVID-19 protocols when I'm outdoors, masking up, social distancing myself and all of that, because this thing is real.
Yeah, even given the fact that we are fully vaccinated and all of that, you still have to be as safe as you can possibly.
And we were showing last night on our affiliate program in the ring how China's taking things, treating this very, very differently. The Chinese different, Rita.
They're very different.
The Chinese different. There was a health worker there, wrestling with a citizen to be isolated. Don't think the different.
Listen, I've seen folks that you can't remember back in 2020 when we had the first reports of the COVID-19 virus all over the place. One of the things that I took note of is how China was treating it, and they had the military wrestling people to the ground, dragging them out of cars. So it was like, I did not want to be there at that point. Why? Because they were testing persons in the car and the guy had a little high temperature, dragged out of the car onto the ground, sanitized. So they're different there. They're different.
Yeah. China is one of those interesting places I love to.
Yes.
One of those very interesting places.
Yes.
I'm just throwing that out there.
You just throwing it out.
That being said, folks, some additional news picking up in the Caribbean. Well, we've talked about the passports,
Yes.
Thanks to Spice Man, caused us a
Spice Man just made us our entire morning. He just mixed up our bit of our lineup.
We jumped way ahead. But this is one of the issues that we said was on the
most definitely.
The president of the CCJ, Justice Adrian Saunders, been calling for the substantive appointment of the Chancellor and the Chief Justice. For those of you who may not know, we've had two persons acting. We've had acting persons for the last 17 years. The government and opposition can agree. 17 long years on who should be the substantive Chancellor and Chief Justice. And we got to bring this up financially. I think so. I think we can't handle this to our kids.
No, we can't.
We can't handle this to our kids. Another 17 years.
That's not something I can say. That's not something I'm proud of. As a citizen of this country, that's not something I'm proud of.
17 years. And these judicial officers, they work very hard, right? They work extremely hard. And I think anybody who has worked hard in their own capacity as a professional, should receive elevation.
They're doing the work.
Upward mobility, and should be confirmed.
They are doing the work. They are doing the work.
And
every single day they are doing the work.
The PPP regime has a terrible track record, a terrible reputation of acting appointments.
Yeah, true.
Acting
Very true.
Appointments. a very, very terrible record on that front. And this is a good opportunity.
The top cop, has been added to that
There's
list
a lot of actors
of
in this
acting.
country. A lot of
But I want to
actors.
say, and on that note, I have to remind the discussion to something that we've been talking about prior, because it's most important. Yes, we're talking about the fact that nobody is proud of the fact that those persons are in acting capacities right now. It's something that we need to move forward with as a country, most definitely. But I want to make one thing extremely clear.
Make it clear.
Is that in no way, shape, or form can we accept any methodology to move forward that is going to be taking us several steps backwards instead of going forward, in order to safeguard democracy and transparency and inclusivity altogether. So the mechanisms that needs to be utilized have to check off all of those boxes. And at no point in time, no one can say, oh, well, you see what we're talking about. Watch how long these people haven't been appointed. Look how long these people will be acted. So let's take several steps back to a less transparent, a less democratic, and a less inclusive method of appointment. No. That's not how you do it. So I just want to put that out there very, very clearly and early, that we support any system that is democratic, that is inclusive, and that is transparent in the appointment of those individuals. And I think that we have examples around the world that we can look to say that when it comes to openness and transparency in the appointment of these individuals, and we need to find a remedy and a mechanism. And if we don't do it together as a united body, these are things that you should not have a line drawn down the middle on. These are things that you can have meaningful engagements and discussion on, and just move forward with it. All right. So
we're gonna solve problems and not just leave them for the next generation. This is one of the issues that we most definitely gotta look at. But talking to it about going a step back, here we are. Here we are talking about a step back on an issue.
Oh my goodness.
If there was any
I just
issue,
sighed. Oh my goodness.
You sighed?
Oh my goodness.
You're on this committee. You're on the public accounts
Oh
committee.
my
Very
goodness.
important post. Very important post.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Very, very important post. Talk to us about this. What's happening here? What's this about? As we told you, there was a move by the administration to only allow the sitting of the committee. This is what this is meant to do, if their members, folks, are going to be present, right? And that's what this is about, which basically means that they don't want the committee to sit because...
Let me tell you something. I think what has been reported, I don't want to quote directly as it is being reported in Starbuck News. It says the Governance and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Giltshire yesterday defended her tabling of a motion to amend the quorum for the Public Accounts Committee, that's the PAC, the PAC as you would know it, arguing that the motion is one that offers protection to both sides of the National Assembly. Let me make something very clear. The Public Accounts Committee is set up there, and the purpose of the Public Accounts Committee is to scrutinize government spendings altogether. The Public Accounts Committee, when finance officers, when accounting officers actually come before the PAC, that by itself operates as though you come in to answer questions. These are the laws that you should be following, and why did you do this and that, and they have to provide responses. That by itself is like a little court setting, because the purpose of the PAC, let me just say this, is that right now we are examining 2017 and 2018 reports. That is the Auditor General's report. The Auditor General goes out and he does audits of all of these agencies, and we are examining right now the 2017-20. That should not be. So let me just put it out there one time. That should not be. Any properly functioning, effective, efficient PAC should be up to date, right? And because there is a backlog, because prior the former chair of the PAC, Irfan Ali, refused to call meetings. I think his last meeting was sometime in 2017, 2018. I can't even remember the date. Nevertheless, because of that, now we have a backlog. So we are examining reports of the previous administration, when the current administration is spending money every single day, questionable spending, things that wide-scale reports of corruption and all of these things, right? So the PAC, the intent is for it to be there, and you have a government, and the opposition should be scrutinizing the spending of the government as it go along. You shouldn't have this backlash. So let me just put it out there. To say that is to protect both sides of the house is most ridiculous. Let me tell you something. The PAC meets every Monday. The PAC meets every Monday because that's a statutory meeting date for the PAC. Everyone knows that you go to the PAC meetings on Monday, so you schedule it way ahead of time. Let's just put that out there. Also, as it is right now, the quorum for the PAC is 3 persons. It never said 3 persons from the government or 3 persons from the opposition, it's just 3 persons. Once 3 persons are there, you can go ahead and you have the meeting of the PAC, because no one should be waiting and no avenue should be given for anyone to stymie the work of the PAC. This motion that is saying right now that you want to have 2 members of the government, 2 members of the opposition, and the chairperson to conduct a meeting, that motion could only be conceived with ill will, ill intent altogether, because what it seeks to do is to say that the government now, if they decide that they're not going to show up to a meeting, then the meeting cannot be had.
And they will decide,
right?
That's the aim.
Good. And I want to also say this, time and time again, they have utilized their majority, because the PAC is 9 members. Persons, you need to understand this also. The PAC have 9 members. The government side have 5 members, and the opposition side have 4, including the chair. So let's just get that clear. Time and time again, the government side has used and abused their majority on the PAC to do whatever they want.
Like
a motion for this, a motion for that.
Like removing the last chair?
Like removing the last chair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now what we're seeing here is another move for them to make sure that if they don't want a meeting to be had, it will not be had. And what does that do? It puts a block in the way, so we cannot move forward with examining and finalizing these reports as we should to get up to date.
What's interesting is that, as you mentioned, Irfan Ali, as Minister of Housing, would have chaired this committee for a long time.
Yeah.
And they had no interest in changing the composition to say that, unless 2 opposition members are on the committee, a meeting cannot be constituted.
No, but
APNU and AFC, had government for 5 years.
Exactly.
Right? The opposition, again, then the PPP were in charge of this committee. We never brought a motion that says, the constitution of it should change.
Yeah.
And now here they are, again, trying to avoid scrutiny. Same people who say they love transparency and accountability and good governance, right? They want to make sure that unless they're present at the meeting can go on, right? And they intend to be absent so that their monies cannot be scrutinized. That's what's happening here.
Yeah, but it also gives way that we can start a meeting, and once they get upset, they all 5 of them could just get up and leave. And we can't have the meeting anymore because there's no quorum anymore.
But interestingly, as we're talking about guilt to share, an interesting letter was in today's paper, and this is the segment we call "What He, She, or They," what they said. Right? And this is Starbuck News. Interesting letter as we run guilt to share. It has even more pertinence. There's been the infamous dildo minister getting into a lot of trouble late, a lot of trouble. Shouldn't be any place close to being a minister, much more sitting in cabinet and all of that. And a letter writer, Narmala Sichiran, says in today's Starbuck News, for instance, there has been no comment from anyone within the government on the minister's latest behavior. And a part of that letter reads, "Why are female ministers not protesting or publicly condemning the alleged remarks? A consistent pattern of abusive behavior by dildo minister. There is no word from anyone from the government commenting on the latest pornographic behavior of the minister. Have ministers and officials been instructed not to comment on this burning matter in the press or on social media? How can something of such magnitude and importance, which has to do with the respect and regard, or rather disregard and disrespect of our female folks, is not addressed, especially by the Attorney General, the Vice President, Social Welfare Minister, the female ministers of Parliament and government, like Gail Teixeira, for instance?"
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, a lot of times, what persons, the speculations that people
Yeah.
put out there is something you hit the nail on the head with it
Hmm.
altogether. It's like persons in these settings, and I can say that I personally know of situations in which PPP members did things that came up in the press, that things that they did not want there, and they were instructed by the leadership not to say anything, withhold any comments,
Hmm.
or so it's going to blow over.
Hmm.
Let the time go, and it is going to die down. So that's how they're treating that situation, because they believe that if they add any comments, it even a voice of dissension or anything, that is going to keep the issue alive. So they just decide not to comment on it at all. So they give it that time lapse for
And
it
you
to
know
die
what,
down.
Rita? This other issue we just preempt
Hmm.
is one of those issues as well,
Yeah.
because it's the friends, it's the squaddy, and we spoke about this issue yesterday morning. This young woman who was beaten so savagely
Yeah.
by her own father, for all the reasons that are out in the public domain. She was granted a permanent restraining order against him.
A good start. I,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
say
yeah.
I
But
want to say that
there must be, yeah, yeah,
consequences.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they must. I want to say good start, and
Permanent restraining
I
order,
have to
lifetime.
I have to commend the system for this. Listen, I give, and this is something about me. I like to give Jack his jacket, as we say it here in Guyana. I like to give Jack his jacket on these things, and I have to say, the same way we share lashes out when the system is not working, the same way we say
Same
kudos
way, same
when
way,
when it actually
same way, not
does
different way,
does good,
same way.
right? So I want to say kudos, to the for the work of the system, and the system actually coming through for this young woman. Yes, I have to also add to that, because of some extreme public pressure,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But you can't tell me kicking a woman, beating a
Yeah.
woman in the belly. The only thing you get is a restraining order. You,
No,
you can't tell
no,
me
no,
that
no.
in
So
this 21st
that,
century.
but that's why I'm
Yeah,
saying good start,
yeah,
right? Good start. But in no way, shape, or
yeah.
form can that be the only mechanism in handling that case, because you need to see consequences. Consequences need to be had. Persons need to be, and it's not just setting, making someone an example. It's not just that.
It's doing the right
It is
thing.
the
It's
right
allowing the
thing.
law to take its course.
Yep.
What's the point of having laws on the books if you see somebody who is clearly in violation of several laws
Hmm.
and there's no consequence? There's no consequence. So that's a good one. But I'm happy as students as to see that there's some movement on this issue. Lifetime restraining order,
Yeah.
right? Permanent restraining
That's the
order.
first time I actually heard it. I actually had to ask that question, like if that was even possible, because I know so persons get restraining orders for a specific amount of time. It's the first time I actually heard of a lifetime
You have some folks
restraining
you want to not to
order.
see ever again in your life. You want them close to you.
A lot of people.
Lifetime restraining order. Person of interest, folks, as we move along. Person of interest. Look at what person of interest is this morning.
Yes.
Yep, yep, yep. And well deservingly
It's
so.
a quote. I think we have to.
Yeah.
I think we have
So
to.
many folks are on the line this morning. Hundreds of
Yes.
folks. Folks, let me take these numbers out for a spin now. Share the live stream. Smash the emoji button. Smash, smash, smash. Share the emoji. Share the broadcast. Smash that emoji button for us. Corporal Desmond Amsterdam is our person of interest. He's an amateur boxer. He's a GDF officer as well, and recently, did some good for this country.
I think one update to that is that we one thing that we need to note is that he's no longer Corporal Desmond Amsterdam,
How
and
so? How so?
that is
How so?
because he got an on the spot promotion for dominance at the boxing championship in Ecuador. And that's something
Yes, probably.
I have to commend that process
Yeah,
altogether,
yeah.
and the fact that of the immediate reward that was given to this individual. Oftentimes we speak about the fact that we want persons to be involved more in sports and
Yeah.
all of these things, and you have to give incentives to push people, this mental support, the system that surrounds you, that if you do good, people are happy about it, and you are
Work is right.
commended altogether.
Work is
So
right.
I have to say congratulations to him. No longer corporal, but now sergeant. I think it was well deserved and
Well deserved.
in order. And I have to say, like when I was a little child, I used to be watching boxing because my mother likes it. So I don't know what is it about people hitting each other and bleeding that she likes. But when I was little, we used to look at boxing a whole lot. And because of that, I'm a little more inclined to the sport that I think I would have been by myself on my own, because I really don't like see the cuts and the bruises and the blood all together. You know, oh my goodness. I may be a little soft, but I know.
Well deserved. Person of interest again is Corporal Desmond Amsterdam.
Sergeant.
Sergeant. He's now sergeant. He's promoted on the spot.
Yes.
On the spot promotion, folks. On the spot promotion. Well deserved. We're heading out to the biggest one this morning. Oh my Lord. Well, of course, here he is with the Chief of Staff, Brigadier Godfrey Bless. During that promotion.
Correct.
Yeah. Well deserved. Well deserved, Corporal. Respect, Amanda. Share the damn live stream. Smash the emoji button. We got a box with some of y'all. We got a box with some of y'all, folks. We got a box with some of y'all. Folks, the biggest the broken promises of them boys in the ancient county.
Oh my goodness.
Barbara is the ancient county, right? Just to make sure we give it.
I don't know.
It was in the River County. Barbara is the ancient. Yeah. Broken promises. You know, one of the things that stood out to me at lots of these PPP meetings over the weekend in Berbice is the fact that the PPP party colors dominated every meeting. I wonder if it was a party meeting or
it was a government meeting. You sure?
It was campaign stops there. Because the party colors dominated.
On taxpayers' dollars?
Taxpayers' dollars.
Our money was used to go and campaign without our permission.
Yep. Broken promises in the ancient country. Where shall we begin? It's
where do we begin?
Where you take it from? It's so many of them.
3,000 jobs in 2 weeks. Let's start there. 3,000 part-time jobs in 2 weeks.
Yep.
I heard this 2-week timeline before somewhere.
2 weeks jobs. 2 weeks jobs in 2 weeks.
No, but I heard this 2-week timeline before.
So you're unemployed by the end of June.
No, but I'm telling you, I heard this 2-week timeline before. You remember where it was? I think it was in Linden, right? How long ago was that?
3 weeks ago. The same way thing. As a matter of fact, we've been following that, and the process in Linden is very chaotic. You got a form to fill out.
The process is now getting started.
Right, you got to hand it into the Prime Minister's rep and some other office there.
The political appointees.
Nobody knows what happens after then. If you get a call, there's an interview, but how do you know? Right, there's some broad fields, like if you want to be involved in agriculture and so on, with these part-time jobs. I don't know.
I think a lot more scrutiny needs to be given to this system of this 3,000 jobs. Listen, I think
Yes.
I don't think it should be acceptable in no way, shape, or form for persons to be given, for government to be spending taxpayers' dollars to provide employment of no form to persons when they are putting their political appointees to do it instead of passing it through the system of the elected officials that were elected and put in place in those systems manage the affairs of this community. I think it is disrespectful. I think it should not be accepted at all. You can't do that because the perception is there's no longer a perception of bias. It is blatant bias.
People are really be employed. That's how
yeah.
It's really employed. Listen, you said 800 for Linden, 800.
But I want to say this, right?
Some people are really employed. Never mind, under the PPP, over 6,000 people have been gone into unemployment.
But I want to say this also because there were a lot of campaign promises when it comes to this 50,000 jobs. And don't be disrespectful. I say this to the administration. Don't be disrespectful and think you come in and tell people that these part-time jobs you're going to count it in this add up to this 50,000 jobs that you hope to get to somewhere. All right? It is impossible, ridiculous, disrespectful, all of those terminologies.
Part-time jobs?
Well, that is the question we need to ask right now. What was it was 50,000 part-time jobs, 50,000 2-week job, 50,000 1-week job, 50,000.
Nowhere close to that. And as we said, by the end of May, people will be unemployed because a lot of 1 week, 2 weeks jobs. And
but I want to add something
cost,
too.
If you think cost, if you think, okay, let's say the average person with 2 weeks can earn $40,000. Might take you $25,000 just to get to work. right? You gotta eat, you gotta wear clothes to get to work, hopefully, right? You might be just working for thanks really and truly.
Yeah.
Might be more cost effective to stay home.
Yeah. And I want to add something because I was reviewing some video from that outreach altogether. And I think one of the things that I noted is that there was a particular woman that she was speaking, and she was talking about the fact that she was getting, I think, was like $35,000, and she had to work. She was saying that it's hard work she had to do for 4 hours a day, right? 4 hours every day she was working. And I don't want to be wrong about this, but I believe it was SIP that she was talking about working there. She said she's working for 4 hours a day and she was getting $35,000 a month. But her contention was, and it is an issue that needs to be addressed. Her contention was that when she said, in order to survive naturally, she has to add it to that income stream, because nobody could survive on $35,000 a month in this country. Okay, so she said she has to add it because she has a little small business that she does on the side. I think it was chickens or something like that. But her contention was that she tried to get to access a loan or a grant through the Small Business Bureau, and she could not do that because they told her she's not eligible for it because she's employed by the government. All right, I think that is a matter that needs to be addressed
Okay.
with urgency, because we definitely can't have persons like that. But I think the response that was given to her, it was by the vice president or the president himself, was that, if you look at the hours you're working and the time, you get in the same salary somebody working, basically saying that you're getting half the minimum wage, so, and you're working 4 hours, so like they don't see the problem. I will be cutting that piece of footage because it's definitely something that we need to go
What
through. But
has what has happened there in
a whole lot, a whole
so we
lot
have
happening.
3,000 jobs we're giving out. They said they're putting an airport, I think, at Skeldon. There's something else happening at Palmyra.
Well, I think you said it best when you asked where were these ideas in the budget?
Yeah, that is the point I want to come to, because again, well, that wasn't last month, it was February. A month and a couple of days ago, you had a whole national budget that was read. Where are all of these big ideas? That a month later, 800 jobs for Region 10. We're going to just show you a couple of things that they said. Region 2, 250 small businesses to receive grants, 800 government-related jobs, part internet payment for school children there, 2 major water treatment plants, $1 billion in road projects, 2 new large school buses, 600 million to dredge them out of the Pomeroon River. They talked about, and then in Linden, Region 10 rather, they said 800 part-time jobs again for Region 10, 250 small businesses will receive grants, Mackenzie Wismer Bridge. Some of those things were already on the cards under the coalition government, like the Wyndham Mackenzie Bridge, setting part of their internet fee as well. They bill for those persons who were doing the Gold Scholarship Program for them to access that, right? Some of that might not only be Indian, might got to give them a computer too or a tablet. So there is that. And now we're seeing what's happening here in Babees, right? Again, a national budget was read a month and a couple of days ago, and none of this featured in it. So, like, what do we talk about the budgeting process?
Yeah.
Right? They gave guys Suko $6 billion in the last budget, but comes a month later to say we're gonna revise downward the productivity, the production volume there, after giving them $6 billion, right? And that's only in the last budget, February's budget.
Yep.
But again, the budget was just a couple of weeks ago. I mean, like, what is happening? What's happening with this government?
First of all, one of the things I can just pinpoint is that what we have been consistently saying is that they lied to the people when it comes to Gaisuka and sugar altogether. It was a blatant lie. There was no intent for them to revamp, revitalize, bring back life. There was no intent to do that. It was a blatant lie, and that's why I want to start off. I think that too many people try to justify and say that because of XYZ, they're not going in this direction. And I think it's watered down a whole lot too much. and not being called as it is. It was a lie. They never had an intention to go and do it in the first place, right? So I just like to put that on record every single time I have this discussion, so that the persons listening, especially persons that have relatives or them themselves were engaged or are engaged in that sector altogether. The budget, as you were speaking about the budget by itself, and I made note of that, sometimes folks, this is why it's important for us to get information out there and to circulate information as much as possible, because sometimes a lot of people miss these little things. In the budget presentation, I spoke a lot about the fact that they are saying that they're here and they're going to do X, Y, Z, and they know how to make sugar great again and make it sweet again and all sorts of nonsense. But then when you look at their projection, they consistently project less in every budget period, because they are projecting less because their aim is to get that number to zero. All right, they intend to go less and less with their production projection, so that they will be at the point that they're not doing it anymore. So that's their aim altogether. So, but we need to remember, we need to have a good memory, folks. So don't forget the promises, don't forget what was said, and then put that into perspective right now, and wait against what is happening, pound for pound.
Sugar great again.
Pound for pound, you have to wait against what's happening, and you will see blatantly that these people lied, and now they're coming to spin you around and carry you all around the place.
Getting licenses for the fishermen on the quarantine from Paramount, Suriname, and now they come in and tell us, oh, we can make hemp great.
Yeah.
We can't make sugar great, but you can never cultivate hemp, but you can make hemp great.
Because we have the experts, technical experts.
Shrimp on this scale, but you can make shrimp great. When your promise was the sugar, but you've now walked back because of the lies, sugar wasn't going in the place. Lost its preferential market and all that stuff. You knew that. When did you lie to the folks, and now you're going to build airport and all kinds of stuff? Where is all of that pre 2020? Where is all of that? Airport for Scanlon, this for their hemp, shrimp. So it's going to be Guy Shrimp Hemp Suko.
Someone gave me a good terminology, but I can't remember it.
A long name, Guy Shrimp Hemp Suko.
Oh my goodness. Who's going to manage that?
In February, Sis Narayan, is it Singh? The CEO of Guy Suko?
Yes, Sis Narayan.
He said sugar was about to come off the government purse, not to be a drag on government coffers.
Let me tell you. Sales tech setup.
Oh, fun. Lies. They're going to have you trusting, guys. Lies.
Sales tech setup.
Well, it's good setup. If I had earning 30,000 US
right?
I'm an advantage setup too.
Sales tech setup.
That's setup and diminish the bank account
at all, right? So he's better off at the end of the day.
The CEO of Guys Who Gets Paid.
Yeah,
and the downsizing, he's salary downsizing though.
But when you look at the salary, you can understand why is it that he takes some why is it that he's taking so many lashes and not saying anything, right?
Yeah, 6 million to the sugar industry. Not for workers. Management alone. Management 5 billion.
Management.
If your salary is 40,000-50,000 US a month.
Well, what are they getting paid to do?
Downsize. Right size. Same thing coalition was doing. We said to the folks, this is the truth of the issue.
Yes.
Sugar is going down. It's not going any place. That's the reality. No. So we gonna make sugar good again. We got a man named Zulfikar. And if Zulfikar take agriculture, sugar may be great again. And we got another man. He was firing at Avenue AFC. We can make he the CEO. And they're gonna turn around together. Better together. They're gonna turn around sugar. Well, the turnover sugar. Nah, it was a mistake. That one school job wasn't turnover, it was turnover. They turned over the whole industry.
Oh, that was their intent.
Yeah.
Their intent was to make sure that they moved away from that. But I just want to underpin the fact, and I don't think we say it enough. I just want to underpin that they are of the opinion that the persons that they are speaking to are gullible. That's what they believe. But I always say that they are wrong about that. And maybe it was like that back in the days. But slowly and surely, and I always say I have to commend the persons that are speaking out from these areas right now. Slowly but surely, persons are realizing, because they have access to information at the touch of in the palm of their hands, at the press of a button. And because of that, persons are putting the pieces together, and they can decipher what is BS from what is actual facts. And I can say at this point in time, right now, the very fact that we have all this conversation on Gaisuko, and the focus now being pushed to shrimp and hemp and all of those things, you go on the ground, you'll hear the people. They're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah,
This is
and
not what to tell us.
that's one of the takeaways from those meetings over the weekend, because we've been going through some of the photographs that were
Yes.
taken by them, and there are no happy faces there.
Yeah, what is there to
No
smile
happy
about?
faces. You
What
see,
is there to smile
I thought
about?
they might be smiling at, like, I get airport, I get shrimp, I get him.
How does that
Listen,
how
right?
how does it
You
benefit
could
you
now
if
fly
you
to
get
him farm.
if you're getting an airport when you could barely afford to feed your family? How does the airport benefiting you?
Well, you get shrimp. You get shrimp to feed your family, and hemp and so on, right? And hemp must be good for you. That's why they're going to plant it there. And you got some other stuff that they're giving out there, palmyra and fancy stuff. But the faces of the people says something totally different. And you know what? I don't care what this government went and shared out over the weekend. You look at the face of them people, you're in trouble.
But that's the whole reason
You're
why
in
they
trouble.
are
You keep
there.
sharing out though.
That is the
You're
reason
in some
why they are
serious
there.
trouble. Look at the face of the people. You're in some trouble.
The reason why they're on the ground is because they know persons are discontented, to put it mildly, right? They know persons are suffering, the complaints are mounting at their offices, and because of that, they are on the ground. And what they go on the ground do, they haven't solved a single issue that the persons are actually complaining about. You look at those videos, you look, especially when they have forums in which people asking questions, they're bringing concerns. Not a single solution is given to the concerns of the people, but they're going to say, oh, we're going to be doing this and we're going to, and not addressing the concerns of the people. Look at what is going on. Look at it, people. If you're out there and you ask went out there and you requested support, you let us know if you actually got the support.
Yeah. It dawned on me as we were looking at some of this information to bring to you guys over the last 24 hours that the PPP in having Jack Joe make all of these moves here. Now you see, this not your fan. This is Jack Joe front and center. That for PPP, doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result is called Jack Joeism. But I had a smart man that lived years ago, right? Very brilliant fellow called Einstein. When he looked at that, he said, this is madness. He said, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of madness.
Yeah.
But the PPPs call it Jackdoism. We have tried Jackdo as a nation for a long time.
Oh,
2 terms,
goodness.
10 years plus a year and a half of Janet Jagan's
2 plus
term.
2 plus
right?
terms.
And that lady, Janet Jagan, gave him a chance.
Yeah.
And 12 years later, right now, 14 years later, being at the helm of the state, he has proven her wrong every single year. Every single year. Doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result is called Jackdoism. We tried that 14 years now, we're trying, and we're failing consistently. Right? And tomorrow they go out and try some stuff that they didn't get to try in the last, that didn't work, 5 years ago. So everything we see them doing seems to be pre-2015, and they're expecting a different result. They're posture with crime. They're posture with the oversight bodies, Integrity Commission, Judicial Service Commission, Police Service Commission, Teaching Service Commission. Nothing has changed. They've always had these postures, but somehow they're expecting a different result from it. Their attitude with the Surinamis, the fishermen, quarantine, and all of that, and they're expecting a different result. They've never been strong on foreign policy. They have replaced Clement Rohi with another fool. You thought, and they're expecting a different result on the front. Now, if you give a fool more money to spend, it's the same fool you have given more money to spend. Nothing that Jaguar has ever touched has ever prospered. You look at it. Skeldon Sugar Factory. Right? If Skeldon Sugar Factory was a success, he said it would have been. They didn't need airport, they didn't need shrimp, they didn't need hemp. Because Skeldon was it.
Yeah.
Now we're telling them these are the big things going to work. Right? We can make this place a big booming place. Skeldon was supposed to do that. Skeldon was supposed to be so big, it was going to be selling electricity, not 1 kilowatt. Since they pump all them billions into Skeldon, now the same corridor again, selling dreams. Selling dreams. for the PPP doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is Jaguarism, right? Einstein says it's madness, right? I think I can believe Einstein, right? Because Einstein theorized, the man was so naturally gifted and bright. He theorized a lot of things. And then the math backed him up. When you're talking about wormholes and and the event horizon, Einstein just sitting down thinking about life says, you know what? Gravity around around a black hole, it's so strong, it pulls in light.
Yes.
Right? And years later, science and math backed up his theorizing. Right? So when the man talk about madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, I believe he. Right? In this country, we call it Jaguarism.
But we can add to that also.
Jaguarism.
We can. I'm listening to Sheridan. I'm thinking that we can add to that also, and we can look at the fact that if you put the same people, you know,
same thing.
If you put the same people over and over,
right? Einstein says the problems that are created today cannot be solved at the same level they were created.
Yes.
If Jaguar create a problem, how are you going to solve it? Right? How are you going to solve it? Right? You know, I'm sorry for the people who look up to these guys as their leaders, because there's a pattern. And again, future behavior, a good predictor of it, past behavior.
Past behavior.
And nothing is surprising. There are some people who thought that somehow Jaguar was going to have an ontological shift. His whole scheme of thinking. Somehow he had, you know, we entering into the Easter season. He had a transfiguration, right? He was changed somehow in 5 years. Same fella watching me, same corrupt. Ask Sue, hold on, Sue coming back.
It's right? Not gone.
Sue coming back, watching. See, ask Sue, ask what's the young lady's name? Isabel Young. Same corruption all over again. Crime high, right?
Drugs.
Come back. Everything come back, but you expect a different result. Same people.
Yep.
Over and over. The same policies. Right? Jaguar is supposed to be so bright. Not only he, you got Jaguar. You got Commissar quietly in this government working. He was a former finance minister. You got Ashley Singh, a former finance minister. Why are we in these doldrums? Everything is now Ukraine. Is he war in Ukraine? They got him planting hemp and shrimp.
My goodness.
Is he war in Ukraine? They got Skeldon, but Skeldon there now. Years now. Is he war in Ukraine? Right? If it's not the war in Ukraine, it's his enemies. Right? Santoki want to give you a license, but Santoki got his own Jaguar for deal. Like he's a puppet too. He make arrangements he can't fulfill. He got the own Jaguar to deal with. See, he got back home now, and people say, no. We want guy he's nowhere near the Quarantine River. And so that promise gone by the wayside. Not a broken promise. We'll be there 2 years in. 2 years. And let me tell you something, Judah. I want to make a confession. As this Easter season.
Yes.
I expected things to be bad, but God knows I didn't expect this here in 2 years.
My goodness.
I say over a 5-year period, baby, we can there, we'll be there.
Yeah.
But 2 years in, I surprised myself. I surprised we'll be there 2 years. But these bright people. If Jaguar is so bright, how this country there, this country there? Acting chancellor. You got to get a man come still from St. Vincent
to tell you this.
To tell me that.
My goodness.
Right? And we say, right? You got 3 health ministers, 3 of them. And we start testing for COVID-19. That's how we so frightened now for the public. Know what the real numbers of COVID-19. We say, if you all test positive and you all know you're positive, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Stay home. Give self-care,
3
guys.
ministers. You got Ramsamy, right? You got Barry Ramsaran, right? He basically in it for the healthcare. Because he healthcare bill compelled. Ramsaran stand up and he's shaking stuff.
How many you just counted?
Right?
You have
There's 2.
Ramsamy.
And then you got Ramsamy. And then you got Frank. 3 health ministers.
So where is
3 finance ministers. We'll be there.
But where is Vishwa Mahaniu? Isn't he somewhere?
He's probably the de facto maybe health minister. Chief health officer.
Yeah,
right?
So we have a lot of persons over there at health.
In there, and we'll be there with health. Let's say I can make health great again. Folks, it's horror stories we start tell you. But stories in the health sector, horror stories, we'll be there. All these bright, supposedly bright people, right? You had one woman involved in Lawrence making them look like nothing.
Yep.
In health. One woman started transforming Georgian Public Hospital, bring down the mortality rate improve the infrastructure.
Not just
Did a lot of stuff around
not
the country
yes,
as well.
exactly. I was just about to say not just the Georgetown Public Hospital, because if you look at the transformation of health altogether throughout the country, you will see you would better appreciate the work that Wal
We
Lawrence
had
did.
good people.
Yes,
Trio Bishop is not one.
Mm.
David Patterson did tremendous infrastructural work on the ground.
Mhm.
Started turning around GPL. Now my Yal fire from GPL Yal bring back again, doing the same thing over and over. But you expect a different result out of GPL.
Mm.
Bring back the same amount of Yal fire, and you expect GPL to be great again. David doing all the infrastructure work, took on GPL, started turning around GPL, fewer blackouts, right sizing, moving things along. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Mhm.
Right? No, we can make GPL better. More blackouts.
Blackout like
we can make
crazy.
sugar great, more sugar upturn. This is where we are. But Einstein had it long time ago. Madness. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Right? And then go out selling dreams, and swindling people. It's a Ponzi scheme, it's not government.
But if you want to be practical about it, and like you said, a good prediction of future behaviors, past behavior altogether, and persons in Essequibo, persons in Region 10, persons in Region 6, all of those areas that have had the outreaches altogether. Yeah. If you want to be rational in your thinking, then you must call a spade, yeah. And you must call these people out and say, yeah. How is it that you're coming out with a new set of promises when you failed to deliver all the promises prior? Mm-hmm. Like what happens to the promise? What happened to all the campaign promises? Why are you not checking those off? How is it that you were here? You were saying that you're going to do this now, but what happened to the stuff that you promised before? What inclination do we have to believe that you're going to come through with these things, and that is more importantly, that these things are going to benefit us when you haven't done anything since in office, even before 2015, to make sure that the standard of living of these persons have been elevated. And I often use that term to say that is how you mark progress altogether as a person, as a mother, father, the head of your household. Yeah. That's how you mark progress. You don't care about what the GDP looks like. That's a non-factor to you.
And that is why, they were disrespectful to that woman.
Yes.
Because they don't walk in her shoes. Mm-hmm. If you lose them with $40,000,
yes,
with half of minimum wage, they won't last a month. They'll be slitting their wrists. They won't last a month.
They can't last a week.
These are people who tell a woman that she should be content with what she has, and your transportation is paid for by the state.
Yep.
You and them 40 bodyguards and them 40 cars, right? And you think somehow that comes out of your pocket, right? And we should be thankful for you, right? Your telephone bill is paid, security is paid, your overseas travel is paid, local travel is paid, your food bill is paid, and you telling she that she should be grateful for working for half of minimum wage. Y'all in share?
It's most
and then
ridiculous.
You got a big salary on top of that, and give yourself an even bigger salary with 7%, because 7% of the minimum wage is not 7% of the AFN salary. 7% of the president's salary was $150,000. That's how much we increase their salary by. And you telling the woman she must be thankful for half of the minimum wage, for her might be 40 or 50,000.
And not providing an avenue for solution to her real issue. So her real issue was completely different.
Right? Be thankful. And the gas you can use to burn from Skelton to come to town is more than the minimum wage. The gas, the whole convoy will use to come down, but feed she for the whole year. She don't have to work, and she should be thankful for the minimum wage.
Yeah, but persons need to understand, and you need to keep calling. People need to call it out. Call it out.
First lady wearing a purse for 10,000 US, a shoe for 5,000 US. Well, you be thankful. You better be thankful, folks.
You deserve more. I think.
Deserve more. Share the damn live stream. Smash the emoji button.
I think that's a good note for us to wrap up our discussion today. To say basically that you deserve more. As Guyanese, you deserve more. The resources that this country have, it is not for you to beg for.
Yeah.
It is not for you to have to beg to actually benefit from it.
Stop buying dreams.
And call people out. What is so difficult? Fear of actual victimization and these things actually stop people from calling things out publicly. But that's why I always am so proud of the people that actually have the confidence and the strength to speak out and let everybody know that this is what is going on. This is the reality on the ground altogether. So, folks, it was great having this discussion with you. I see the comment section is it's not there, but I see hundreds of comments. I think I missed
hundreds of
I think I
persons
missed
watching
about
that.
300 comments by now.
Hundreds of persons watching this, guy. We just want to encourage you to share the broadcast, share the program, share the like, smash that emoji button. So we want other folks to get valid and credible information. And as Judy said, thanks to so many of you for joining FYI this morning. Mohammed and Spice Man is here still, and Lynette Summersall and Margaret Nelson. I see Naomi Drucker, Commissioner Cole is here, Maureen Chichester, Paul, Edward Gonzalez, and Carol Rollins. All of our favorite folks. Share the broadcast. Smash the emoji button. Smash. Really gotta get in touch with this thing.
I was never into drama, the drama season. I missed the drama class.
Guys. Share.
Oh my goodness.
Politics is drama. And that being said, guys, come back. And don't come back. Stay in partner with us as well, so we can do more of these programs for you. We got the Cash App available. We got MoneyGram, Western Union, MMG. We got Zelle, PayPal. All for your convenience, guys. That allows you to partner with us, and we can continue to grow from strength to strength. Meet our responsibilities and keep moving forward.
Christy Burrows said, I just got up. She lived in the life. There's the life.
That's the life.
So,
that's the life. When you want me like you.
Me too.
I can make it want me like you. Just like you.
Just like I missed out. Yes, you did.
Like well, the program is going to be posted on social media. It's on YouTube as well. You can watch in your own leisure. That's the good thing about social media.
Yeah, it's there. It's not going anywhere.
Yep. You watch it back in your own leisure.
My goodness. Stacey Mattis is good. It was good to have you guys here. Wanda London, Colin Roberts.
Claire Capel, Colin Roberts. Good to see you. Wanda London. Yeah, lots of fantastic folks. We love her.
I think I'm gonna make a kite. I just had this bright idea.
I think you can stick around too for the podcast. I had that bright idea.
I think I'm gonna make a kite, guys.
Yeah.
I think I should have this little competition with Sharon and see who makes the better kite.
Here's some power. Boots on the ground. Good to see you guys.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you all. And make sure that you are back this midday at 12 for Below the Belt podcast, and also for In the Ring this evening at 8 p.m. And as you go, remember to be safe always. It's very important to me that you all arrive alive wherever you're going. So be safe. Let us know if you have any concerns or anything concerning the content that we cover all together. We always value every bit of feedback, negative or positive. We value them all. So have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for FYI at 8 a.m.